If language learning feels difficult, then you're probably doing something wrong. Most language learning advice is so bad that this is the key thing blocking your progress. My methods are completely different, and some of them would get me kicked out of a language learning class. And no, this is not another video on how using flashcards is going to help your language learning. Today I'm going to give you 20 of my counterintuitive, borderline absurd, yet very effective language learning hacks that are going to turn you into a polyglot machine. Not only that, you're also getting a free PDF of my language learning map that's going to go even more in depth to this topic, and that's going to help you on your language learning journey. The first hack, you have to learn languages through low quality media. And this is extremely controversial, but I believe that documentaries, textbooks don't really shape your language learning. Don't really shape the way you perceive the language. What will really help on your journey is watching content that's considered brain rot. Well, I have a specific video on how to use brain rot content to learn languages, so you can watch this. You have to consume over-edited YouTube videos, you have to consume reality shows because they feature the most natural language that you can get. You have to watch cartoons that are not very smart, and all of this is going to help you learn the vocabulary that is really used on the daily basis, and it's going to help you develop your confidence, understand the memes, understand the inside jokes better, as well as the culture of the people that speak your target language. Yet it doesn't apply to all types of content. It mostly applies to the listening part of language. So the next hack is going to cover the serious part of learning a language. Is based on reading abilities and on exam prep. So the second hack is use Google News. So Google News is awesome because it has a lot of content, different topics, and you can read articles on any topic, which is going to help you learn advanced vocabulary. You can translate as much as you want. You're also going to develop your visual memory. Also, because news mostly cover topics that are already known to you in one degree or manner, it's going to be easier for you to comprehend that content. So you're going to start recognizing patterns better. So this is a bold reading. This helped me prep to my DALF exams, the French C1. It helped me prepare to my DELE C1 exam, which spanned to my Spanish C1 exam. It develops your reading in a way everything else does. Yet the next hack that I'm going to tell you applies to any type of learning. Study before you go to sleep. If you want to memorize vocabulary, if you want to memorize any grammar points, it's better that you do your memorization work closer to bed. I'm pretty sure you've had those episodes when you're prepping for an exam and you think that you don't remember anything, but then you go to sleep and you wake up, you know all the content of the textbooks that you've studied with, right? If you're studying in a more traditional manner, if you're learning vocabularies, you're using flashcards. And if you're allergic to studying and you hate learning, then the next hack is going to be connected to the first hack, but it's more specific. You have to watch short-form content. I know it's brain rot. I know it's dopamine addiction. I know it's bad for your brain. Believe it or not, when you're watching in a language that you don't know that much, it's not as addicting as if you're watching it in your native language. Be it TikTok, be it Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. I recommend mostly TikTok because there's no other distractions. So you can simply have an account just for your target language and watch your short form content because it's going to give you so much of the language from so many different angles, both educational and trash content. And this is going to develop you in every possible way that a language learner wants to develop in. So watch short form content and thank me later. I mostly promote fun language learning. Yet there's a method that's a little bit boring and it's squeezing the most out of books. And this is the fifth hack. So what I like about books, you can get one book in your target language. You can use it for pronunciation. You can read it out and try to pronounce words. You can use it for vocabulary. You can use it for grammar recognition. You can use it to understand the culture better. So you go buy one book in your target language that's interesting to you, not classics, nonfiction, something simple. So now we're focusing on passive understanding. What about watching Netflix shows? Because everybody says that you should watch shows in your target language. How do you do it in a proper way? And this is the sixth hack that I'm going to present to you. My Netflix show ladder. First of all, you're not going to be aiming for movies or for series that are in your target language. You're going to choose one of the series that you watched a couple times, one of your favorites, and you're going to watch it in your target language with English subtitles. That's it. Like, you're probably going to read most of them. It's fine. Just focus on trying to understand as much as you want. That's why it's better to find something that you recognize. And the second thing that you're going to do, watch the same show after some period of time while you're learning already. You're going to watch it in your target language with your target language subtitles. And the third thing that you're going to do after you've already developed your skills to a certain level, you're going to watch it without subtitles in your target language. And in this way, you can adapt your watching experience to your language level and help it develop with you. The seventh habit is going to be a small habit you add to your daily life. It's going to make your progress extreme, radical. Get a habit of using Google Translate more. So if you see a word that you don't know in your target language, you're going to Google Translate it, and it's not for you to try to memorize it. You're just going to be Google Translating it, looking at it passively, and that's it. But the more you hear that word and the more you Google Translate, the more the most popular and the most used words are going to stand out. So you're going to get the hang of the most popular phrases and words. It's not a hack that you're going to implement consciously, but it's a habit of if you want to skyrocket your results. The 8th hack is using music. You got to listen to songs in your language. You got to ugly sing them. You got to have your playlist ready and put them on repeat and listen to as much music as you can. You can look at the translation. Remember, melody is way better than just words. It's easier to learn the lyrics to a song rather than just learn a plain text, right? Because melody and rhythm help us remember things better. And the more you ugly sing to a song, the more you listen to it. And if you translate it right, you get a lot of new words that you know and better pronunciation because it's also shadowing. So use your Spotify to get the most out of your Spotify. Have it that you like specifically. Don't listen to just the most popular artists and write down the lyrics and just obsess over it. And the 9th hack is very similar to our Netflix show hack. It's watching the same show or movie again and again. If you have a movie or a show that you really like in that language, that would be great if you would rewatch it a couple of times. Maybe it's a YouTube video, even better if it's a cartoon because they're easier to watch and not as memorable. Do it with shows and movies in the target language so you get more of the natural accents, natural pronunciation, and grammar as well. The next hack is the hack that I've used most for Spanish. And you know, I'm somebody that got my Spanish diploma with just a couple months of deliberate studying. And you have to journal in the target language. Not journal in a way that you just write your daily activities or something. You have to journal about complex things using Google Translate. You can even use ChatGPT. Long sentences and with advanced vocabulary in a specific journal. And you're going to be rereading your journal entries to see how much of the information that you retain. It's going to help your active abilities and it's going to help you write more natural. Next thing is probably something that I've used the most, and I'm still using for Italian and Mandarin right now, using your autopilot mode. What is autopilot mode? It's when we do some daily tasks that don't require a lot of planning, don't require a lot of intellectual abilities, and that you can do without thinking much. It's like walking, for some people driving, doing your cardio, going to the gym. You don't really think about these things when you do them. For this time is gold because you're going to be listening to podcasts while you do it. Because the more podcasts you listen to, the better you know the topics that you want to be talking about in the target language. The more you get the hang of vocabulary, accents, etc. You also are going to save a lot of time because these things you're going to be doing either way. It's going to make your language learning journey so much easier because while you formally study for an hour a day, because you listen to podcasts while you walk or you cook or you're in the gym, your daily study time is going to be more like 2 to 3 hours, which is insane. Yet you may ask, like, how am I going to sound fluent? The 12th hack is that you should learn filler words early because it's going to help you communicate with people with more confidence because you're going to have more space and more time to rehearse what you're saying in your head. It's going to make you sound more fluent because natives use a lot of filler words. They're easy to memorize and they make you more confident because you sound so French. And filler words are not that good if you're trying to be a public speaker. So don't get the habit of it in the earliest part of your language learning journey. It's going to help you have more self-assurance while you speak. It's going to help you speak more and believe in yourself. The next thing that you're going to do is, again, connected to your habits. And it's a habit of watching casual videos in your target language. Recipes, makeup tutorials, and all of that content that don't really need a lot of intellectual activity. And the very cool thing about these videos is that they teach you casual vocabulary. It's easy for you to understand them even if you're a beginner. They're more visual and they don't rely on text that much. So you get to learn the things that you have to learn. And at the same time, you get the listening practice of most vocabulary for daily use. And the next hack is pretty controversial, but you have to get obsessed with a celebrity. I remember when K-pop just started getting very popular and all girls in my class were extremely upset and we wanted to watch K-dramas. And some girls started picking up Korean vocabulary just because they were watching a lot of content that was related to the celebrities that they were obsessed with. With a lot of interviews, to listen to the music, then it's going to get easier for you to naturally pave your way through to learning the language. Which leads us to the 18th hack. Get obsessed with a Netflix series. And it's not going to just let you memorize new vocabulary. Watching backstages, interviews, memes, also becoming a part of the foreign fandom wouldn't hurt. And the next one is probably the most rigid one out of those that we've talked about today. And this is not something that I would recommend a lot of times, but the 16th hack will apply to people that learn languages for academical purposes and that need diplomas. You have to set an exam or travel deadline, and you got to pay the fee for the exam. Say that you have to learn the language and you really have nowhere out. That's what I did with my French exams. So I learned French and got my C1 diploma in 4 months. That's what I'm talking about. Or you can set a travel deadline. You can book your tickets, book your hotel for like a month in a new country if you have the means for it. So you have to find external things that are going to push you. Exams are perfect for that. Now the next hack is going to help you if you're learning a language that's not very similar to your native language. I'm normally completely against grammar. I think that you should only study grammar if you have an exam or academic purposes in mind. Yet, if you're studying a language that's completely different from your own language and that you can't understand on your own, that you like if you can't even catch 5% of the language, then I would suggest that you do like a 2-week grammar boot camp where you'll study all the grammar that you can in as well as made the main words, and then you forget about grammar. So you give yourself 2 weeks of grammar and that's it. You know the 80-20 principle, when the 20% of learning the grammar and basic words of language teaches 80% of the language itself. And if you're going to be more comfortable in your listening, or specifically if you want to start speaking right away, which I don't really advise, a little bit weird, but it's pretty powerful. And it can seem a little crazy. So you know X, right? I have this hack of starting a new private X profile where you're going to be documenting your thoughts in the target language. And generally it would be great if you had this account to follow people that write in that language, and also to be able to train both your input by writing your thoughts. Of course, it's going to help your writing abilities and eventually speaking too, because writing and speaking are very much correlated. It's also going to give you the input because you're going to be reading people's thoughts. And this does the same thing that the book hack does, because you're getting pattern recognition. You understand inside jokes better, and that's absolutely great. And now the most underrated hack, but something that's going to help you a lot if you're going to be prepping for any language learning exams, you have to learn connectors before learning anything, any complex vocabulary, because connectors make your speech fluent. They make you understand a lot more, and then they help you explain your thoughts. You know, connectors are like, for example, for instance, on the other hand, etc. If you've noticed, these are the things that we use a lot when we speak our native languages. And this is one of the things that's most respected in language exams. So if you learn that early, it's going to help your confidence grow because you're going to sound more fluent, and it's going to help you connect your thoughts better and really sound like you're speaking the language and not speaking the textbook, which is the worst thing that you could do. That's like terrible. Most of the tips were smart sounding, but the last one that I'm going to tell you is funny, like literally funny. The 20th language hack is you should follow meme accounts in your target language, because memes are so good. I know they're not as popular as TikTok right now, but still, it's so great. You're going to recognize a lot of inside jokes, and it's going to make you more motivated to learn the language because you kind of feel like you're part of the culture, and you're going to understand slang words. And slang words are extremely important. I cannot emphasize how important it is for you to recognize slang words, to understand what people on the meme pages are saying, because this is what you're going to face when you go to that country that you want to go, or when you're going to speak with the natives, if you're not planning to just read books in the language that you're trying to learn. But what we'll cover today is 20 extreme hacks that I use on a daily basis as somebody that speaks 9 languages, and I swear by them. If you want to understand language learning better, you can again download my free PDF in the description box, and it's going to help you a lot. And if you're still watching this video, I respect you a lot for the fact that you are really taking the time to reach your goals of learning languages. And it's insane because languages are culture, and it's something that connects us all over the world. So if you're still here, let me know in the comments which languages you're learning or which languages you want to learn. Maybe I can help you. Thank you so much for your attention. See ya.